What's up, everybody? This is Music Matisse SMG, Solo Music Group Podcast in association with First Fam Radio. This is our third season of our podcast. This is episode 2 of season 3. This is our very first international guest. This young lady has made history in the Netherlands as an MC. She's coming to her own. She's been doing it. She's very proficient at it. If you think that you're going to play her on the microphone, you better have your bars up, and they better be smoking, and you better have them fully loaded, because she's no joke on that mic. I want to give a big shout out and a warm welcome to the show from the Netherlands, Eljay in the building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful introduction. Thank you.
Listen, I'm only telling the truth. How are you? It's morning here. It's afternoon there. But how are you today?
Yes. Yeah, I'm good. I had a great day. I was a little bit nervous because this is my first time on Zoom, and I downloaded it like a few days ago, but I didn't check it yet. And yesterday I was like, oh my God. But I'm happy that I'm here. I made it.
Yes, and we are happy to have you. We got a lot that we definitely want to talk about. We have a lot of things that we want to know. Our potential viewers, our current fan base wants to know. We want to know. Take us back to the very beginning of your career in the Netherlands. And just from the beginning, let us know, how was the scene? How was it created out there?
To me, it started, I was like 12 years old, and my mom had like visitors from on vacation. I can't remember which country it was, but they started playing in our living room on the drums, on the guitar, and one of the guys started rapping, and I was like, "Oh, what is this? Okay, wow!" And I really liked it, the energy and the vibe. And then he was like I was watching TV, and I saw Malcolm McLaren with Buffalo Girls. Yeah. And I was like, yo, what is this? But it was beautiful, and I loved it, but it was a little bit different. I mean, the way he was doing it. I mean, like, yeah, I cannot explain what I exactly mean. But I really liked it. I felt it. I saw like the breakers in it and stuff, on how it was on the streets in New York. So we start doing that over here too. And then Blondie came with Rapture with 5 Freddy. Yeah. And I was like, oh, girls can do this too. Because I started out with graffiti, actually. My graffiti name was Adama Fresh. I took that name from the commander of Battlestar Galactica.
Right, I remember that show.
Yeah. So my first round was like, I'm gonna impress the girl, Devastator. And we did it on the streets, like how we saw they did it in New York on the streets. Right. And but in that time it wasn't allowed on the street, so the cops beat us down, and I was like a little girl, and they beat us with a stick, and they said, I don't want to be, they said,
speak like, your minds.
They said, get the fuck out of here with that ape music. That's what they said. Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, but we was like, we didn't realize, like, but we having fun. We just kids, and we love what we doing. Right. Why are you hitting us? And yeah, that's what happened. But we continued doing our thing, and it started to grow, and now it's 2021. And still here.
Wow. So you got into it at that young age. Did you start rhyming at that time and thinking about, well, maybe I can do this for a career around that time, or did that come later on?
Actually, to me it was peace, unity, love, and having fun. So I never thought about having a career or be a star. I just did what I love to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So you start out at the beginning, you start to develop. What would you consider, or when would you consider that you had your first big break?
To me, actually, 2016.
Wow, that's a long time.
But it was, of course, before when I was little. Oh yeah, when when I was invited in TV shows and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, from the bottom of my heart, it was 2016
Mm-hmm.
because 2016 led me to our interview now. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did it happen with the release of a video? Did it happen with the release of a certain song? Was it someone you met in the industry out there? Exactly how did it happen? If you feel, that you can get into it.
Um, yeah, maybe when I became the first lady of the Ultimate MCs, Lady Ultra, that was in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Keith when I was a little girl. I was like 15, 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And Ultimate MC, that was the first time that Ultimate MC had to do a show in Holland. And a good friend of mine, Big John, introduced us to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I also had a manager who also invited artists to the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got to meet a lot of old school artists from back in the days, like Public Enemy, Run DMC, Latifah, De La Soul,
Mm-hmm.
Jungle Brothers,
Wow.
yeah, Stetsasonic,
Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of more artists from the States. So they know me as a little girl with a big mouth, and I still have a big mouth. I need to have a big mouth.
Listen, you
Yeah,
got to let them know how you feel. I've heard a couple of different songs and some videos and stuff. I've heard your work. I love the way you flow. I don't consider you a rapper. I do consider you an MC. And to me,
thank
there's a
you.
big difference. You like I said in the opening, you nice with the words, you nice with the metaphors. I love your vocal tone. I love your subject matter, and I like the way you flow, the way you ride a track. So for
Thank
those
you.
you're quite welcome. For those fans who may not understand and are younger viewers that may see this, Ultramagnetic MCs, a legendary crew, legendary artists from New York, from the Bronx. These guys, it was Kool Keith, Said G, and I believe it was two more members. But Kool Keith,
TR,
yeah.
TR Love,
Mm-hmm.
Mo,
There you go.
Mo also,
There you go.
and they got a lot of you got like what's his oh my god, how can I forget his name? But he's Keith's protege. So oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Kid Midi, Kid
Okay.
Midi, yeah,
Okay.
and you got Midi like Lady Ultra, and Big D is also with Ultimate MCs. You got Cito. Cito is also with Ultimate MCs.
This is
Yeah,
like hip hop royalty that if you don't know, she's talking about hip hop royalty. She's talking about pioneers and originators from, the early come up days, the early days when hip hop was just starting to go national in the States as well as international and around the world. So it's an honor for us to have you here, especially with the fact that you're considered, Lady Ultra. You officially, that's who you are. Now,
thank you.
when you met them and you started vibing with them and you started connecting with them, have you done any shows outside of the Netherlands with them?
In no, and I could do a show with them, but I was with a
Mm-hmm.
team of girls, and one of the girls was like crying because she wanted to go backstage and she couldn't, so I stayed with her,
Mm-hmm.
and so I missed the show actually.
Oh wow,
but
wow.
I did shows with them like in Holland,
Mm-hmm.
and it started with Keith like calling me on stage, and I was like, oh my god, why? And that's how it started, and that's how it went every time when they was like here
Right.
in Holland. And recording started later in 2013. Well, I know him since the 80s,
Mm.
but we never how do you say it, I used to date Seji when I was younger,
Oh,
and
okay.
my cousin was engaged with my cousin, and she's also my partner I
Mm-hmm.
started rapping with. She's used to be engaged with Keith.
Oh,
So
okay.
so we was actually like family, and we was going back and forth to the Bronx to see them and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
never really talked about rap. And one day, somewhere in when was it? 2013 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one day Keith said, "Yo, Al, you rap, right?" I said, "Yes." And he said, today I'm going to take you to the studio. And I said, okay. I mean, like, who's going to say no?
Right.
And then he said, but you know my style, right? And I said, well, actually, I don't. And he was like, huh? How do you mean you don't? And I said, I never listened to your songs, but the only times that I hear your songs is when you're on stage. And he was like, oh, okay. And yeah, and then we went to the studio and record the song.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so excited to record a song with Keith that I never put my attention on the lyrics because he wrote that song.
Right.
And the name of the song is Put on This Track While You're Having Sex.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And after the song, I started to get crazy inboxes from guys talking about my lyrics and this and that. And I was like, I was so mad.
Right.
But later, now that I'm older, I'm like, it's just work. So it doesn't matter. If that's their thought, that's their problem, not mine. Right. But I had to get used to it because I was like, why are they talking to me like that? Why are the show sending me crazy pictures and stuff? But now and then I started to realize it was all because of the song.
Right. Now, at that particular time, working on that song with Keith, was he still a part of Ultramagnetic as a group, or had he become Dr. Octagon by that time?
No, he already went solo for a long time. Yeah, he went solo, and when Ultra came back, I was with them, and we because they had to do a tour in Belgium, in France, Holland, and I was with them, and it was after a long time that they came back together again.
Right.
And they stayed together because Keith was all the time. Keith was by himself. Kool, Dr. Octagon, Black Elvis, he was doing solo things.
Right, right. Now, for people who don't know, here in the States who may not be familiar, exactly where is the Netherlands? Explain to them like the major countries in Europe that may be near it or it may be near as far as proximity.
Yeah. Okay, so the Netherlands is a country in Europe. It's nearby Germany, Belgium, well, Italy also actually, and Europe. The Netherlands is the country where we ride like bicycles and have a lot of cheese. That's Holland.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But it's also a place similar to Holland in the sense, and correct me if I'm wrong, where like here in the States now, it's a big thing. It's a big push. A lot of the different states are starting to legalize marijuana. Did you all have that problem in Holland, Amsterdam, and the Netherlands? Like, did you?
I understand what you're saying. And normally that's my slogan. I'm from the country where the weed is legal, but I didn't mention it because I don't smoke myself.
Right. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. True. Yeah. But the weed and a lot of tourists come this way just to smoke and be high and everything. Yeah.
Do you all still have the cafes?
Yes, we still do, but because of the corona bullshit, it's closed now.
Right.
But it just opened again, like I thought a few days ago. But yes, we have yeah.
Okay. So with the shows and stuff you've done in your area, have you how many shows have you averaged a year since 2013 as an artist and as a performer prior to COVID?
No. This I think only 1 or 2, and the reason for that is because I lost my dog, got killed by the police, and my son got killed. So I didn't. That was 2014 and 2015.
Right.
And and people start laughing at me, cursing me out and stuff. So in 2016, I thought, okay, you want to laugh? Okay, don't worry, bomb. And then I did a show. I came back again.
All right now. Well, we definitely send our condolences for your losses, and it's good to see, that you have, really decided to press on with this thing because you're a very talented artist. Are you signed right now to a label, or are you just doing everything independently on your own?
No, I'm not signed to a label. I'm doing everything on my own, like I always did since I was 12, actually. And the reason why I don't want to sign is because I want to be myself.
Right.
I did sign one time when I was 19 years old, and I had to do what they told me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the original song of Pump Up the Jam, but it was a different version. And they paid me like 800 guilders back then. That's like €400 now, or like
right.
$400. And but I was a little girl, I didn't know what I was doing. But I had to wear a dress in a video, and I didn't want it to wear a dress, but because I was like they used to call me tomboy. So and I stick up my middle finger.
Uh-oh.
So I got how do you say it, banned, but it doesn't. I don't really care. And they remixed the song and put another female MC on it, and they let the sister of the record label boss play back the whole video.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So is that ban still in effect today, as far as you know, or you don't know?
No, I'm happy that that it happened like that, because I was too young and I wouldn't do. Suppose I would made a lot of money with it, and I was too young to understand or to know how to invest it or how to double it, or you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm happy that it didn't happen actually, and now now I don't want to sign either, because I wanna have my I'm working with a friend of mine. He's from Street Money Radio. We planning to start our own record label.
All right.
Because I want to help artists from the streets who are really talented, but don't get a chance to show what they got. And you know, and with talented, I mean, like, the lyrics are good life lessons with knowledge in it, and not a lot of garbage like most of the artists do right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that's funny you say that, because we're doing the same thing here at SMG Solar Music Group. What's the most influential type of rap in the Netherlands? Is it right now more of a gangster rap style, or is it more like a hip hop lyrical type of style?
It's not no hip hop lyrical, and I mean, like, we from the old school or the underground or the streets or the not signed artists, we are, and especially the old school, we are like hip hop still. I love hip hop, but I also love trap, but that's because of my children.
Right.
And if you love your children, you're gonna listen to the songs they listen to, just to understand what's going on in their minds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was also the one who brought trap to Holland, because I was with Keith in New York, and we was walking down the streets, and there was a Chinese woman, and she was screaming "Wangana, Wangana, Wangana," and I was like, "What?" I said, "Keith, what is Wangana, Wangana?" That's how it sounded, eh? And he said, "No, she's saying $1."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she was Chinese, so she said $1, $1. You know what I mean? So I thought she was hungry and that she needed $1. So I walked up to her and I had like $2 in my pocket. And I gave it to her, and I wanted to walk away. And then she said, no, where you going? Where you going? And I was like, huh? And she gave me $1 back with a CD. So I took the CD back to Holland, and there was pop music on it. And my sons loved it. And when they was like in the shower and I was playing it, they started rapping with the music, but in Dutch. So they made it Dutch actually. So but never got credit for it. You know what I mean? And that was like, yeah. And that was like in 1999 somewhere. And to me, I'm like tired of that music. Not, how do you say it? Tired of the fact that Dutch rappers trap. They don't live the life. And they're not creative, and they just translate American trap songs into Dutch. Not all of them, but most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah.
We got to have some type of balance, because a lot of people say the same thing here in the States, that it's too much of one type of hip hop and not enough of all hip hop. So I definitely understand it. Do you happen to remember some of the artists that might have been on that CD when you took it back home to Holland?
Young Money Records, Weezy,
Okay.
what's the name again? What's it? D4L. D4L was on
Right.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gucci Man. Yeah, the trappers from ATL.
Right.
Because it was
Right.
because it was a mixtape from ATL. It was not a mixtape from New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So
Mm.
when it started to, when your sons got into it, obviously their friends started to get into it. How did it eventually end up spreading, you think?
Yeah. A lot of kids came recording here because we built our own studio over here,
Mm-hmm.
and so a lot of kids from the hood. I live in the west side of Holland. That's
Mm-hmm.
we area district 5713, and they started to recording at our house, and that's how it got spread around.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So you
Yeah.
brought it all the way back over and broke it
Yeah.
down. We're gonna make sure
Without
you get
even
that credit here. We definitely gonna give you that credit and that shout out here, you know.
thank you.
And
Yeah,
I'm
without realizing what I was bringing, I was just happy, and it was to me the city was a memory of my time in New York. You know?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's crazy. That's a trip. But I'm sure
Yeah.
that a lot of the Atlanta artists are probably glad that you did. Now, as far as shows and stuff, and I'm talking before COVID, before 2020, did you all get a lot of, we know a lot of the lyrical and the actual purists, the hip hop artists do frequently come through that area. People like Talib Kweli, Ultramagnetic MCs, Most Def, people of that type of stature. But did you get a lot of the trap or quote unquote gangster rap artists over the years that have come through Holland on tour?
Yes, free bands gang.
Okay. Okay.
Future, yeah, future. But I met him in New York
Mm-hmm.
at his pop-up shop
Mm-hmm.
because he had a collaboration with Reebok.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, his brother invited me, Casino invited me to. They had a birthday bash of DJ Camilo from New York. It was
Right.
his
Oh yeah.
birthday. Yeah, and Future was playing there.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother Casino got me on stage, and that's how I met him.
Mm.
They was like with a whole team, and he got a lot of brothers who rap actually, which people hardly know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I started to work with free bands members, cousins, unks, and
Okay.
everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
G Money, shout out G Money.
Shout out G Money. There you
Money,
go.
yeah, G Money works with Mexico Brand. It's also a brother of Future. He's
Oh, okay.
also he's also a good artist. They're all good because yeah, of course, the music is from there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who would you say right now, let's say in general, is the hottest artist in the Netherlands right now, as far as rap music and hip hop and the culture is concerned?
To me,
Mm-hmm.
his name is Frenna.
Say that one more
Frenna.
time. Frenna?
His name is Frenna.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, because he's the only, not the only, but he's one of the uh, artists that goes global, like making songs with African stars and
Mm-hmm.
different kind of people from all around the world. And
Mm-hmm.
I like his music because his music is like, how do you say it? Happy. Every
Mm-hmm.
time when I listen to a song of him, it's like it gives you the summer vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But there are a lot more artists who are also good, but
Mm-hmm.
him,
He's the number one right now. Okay. Do you
yeah.
have anything coming out new? I know you said you're starting a label, and the type of artist you're looking for. But are you going to put stuff out
Yes.
on your label? Okay.
Yeah. I'm working with an organization. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta look up the name because I forgot.
Understood.
Let me see. Let me see. The name of the organization is Nusa
Mm-hmm.
Loudness.
Okay.
It's an organization from the country where my mom is from because I'm mixed. I'm half black, half Asian,
Mm-hmm.
and they from the country where my mom is from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We call it Maluku,
Mm-hmm.
Moluccan,
Mm-hmm.
Maluku. Yeah, and they what they do is they create, innovate, and educate They help little kids overseas in our country to grow, to go to school, and so I'm working with them now on a project which was about the four colors of our flag.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and the money goes to the children at our island in Indonesia. And yesterday they came with a suggestion and it said, "Well, wait a minute. If you started in 1982, that means that next year you will be in hip hop 40 years. So we think it's time for you